Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will show you the Easy Peasy Knit Baby Booties. This tutorial is a companion for the written pattern that you can find for free at craftytoots.com. So make sure to check it out. You will be able to find gauge and other information that is very important to the completion of this pattern. Let's start with our knitting needles. I am using US number 6 or 4.5 millimeters, but you need to make sure to get gauge so you will have the same size. The yarn is number 3, also known as DK weight or sport weight, and we're going to be making baby booties just like this. Of course, you need to make a pair. And let's start by casting on our stitches. I am using the long tail cast on method. If you don't know how to do this, I have a tutorial that will show you step by step and really slow how to make this cast on, and I will leave a link below for that. To make the newborn size of this bootie, you will need to cast on 36 stitches. And to make the 6 to 12 months old size, you will need to cast on 44 stitches. Again, all this information you can find in the written pattern, so maybe that will be easier for you to follow. Okay, if you need to pause this video until you get all your stitches, you can do so. And now we have to knit every single stitch. Go from the left to the right and insert your needle in the stitch. Then pull the yarn through and move it to the right. Keep repeating all the way until the end, knitting every single stitch in this. Again, if you need a tutorial, I have one where I show you step by step, slow, in many ways. I show you in the throwing method, and I also show how to do it in the continental way. That is how I'm doing it right now. You will keep knitting every single row until this section measures 2 inches for the newborn size or 3 inches for the 6 to 12 month old size. Here I have all the rows, and again 2 inches for the newborn, 3 inches for the 6 to 12 months old. Now we have to bind off some stitches. For the newborn size, you need to bind off 9 stitches, and for the 6 to 12 months old, 11 stitches. So knit the first 2 stitches, then grab the first one and pass it over. Knit the next one, grab the previous one, and again pass it over until you have bound off a total of 9 stitches for the newborn size and 11 stitches for the 6 to 12 month size. So just keep doing it until you have bound off all the required stitches. And once you're done, you just need to knit all the way until the end of the row. Feel free to pause this video if it is too fast for you, and just come again later when you are ready to continue. We have to create a matching or a mirror of the bound off stitches. You can see here are all my bound off stitches, and we need the same amount here, and it will be the same amount of stitches you bound off. If you need a reminder, is 9 stitches for the newborn size and 11 stitches bound off from the 6 to 12 month size. And just like I showed you before, you need the first 2 stitches and then grab the previous one and pass it over, and from there on you just knit 1 and pass the previous one over until you have bound off all the 9 or 11 stitches according to the size you are making. And once you have all the stitches needed bound off, you just need to knit all the way until the end. So here we have the base of our bootie, and as you can see it's mirrored, and right here we have the middle of the booties, and now we have to make eyelets. That way we can pass a ribbon or any kind of string through it to make the bootie secure. So knit the first 3 stitches. Now you're going to do a repeat. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit, and that is a repeat. So yarn over, slip, slip, knit, and we're going to repeat it all the way to the last 3 stitches. Let me show you a way that I like to do it better. Yarn over, and instead of slipping these 2 stitches, I just get my needle through the back loop of 2 stitches and then I knit it. And after you have done all your repeats, you will knit the last 3 stitches. So here we have our band of stitches, then the middle with the eyelets created with our yarn over, and then you have to knit every single row until this part measures 1/2 an inch, and this is the same for both sizes. Once you're done, you have to bind off all the remaining stitches. And if you wish to make this part a little bit longer, it's just fine, because this is going to be folded over. So just like I showed you before, bind off all your stitches, and one last stitch is going to remain in your needle. Cut your yarn, and then you can use your needle to pull it through and then completely close your work. It's a little bit more tricky, but there, and pull it to secure it. Now we have to sew it, so fold it in half and make sure if you have anything that you want to hide to check it. Now you will need a yarn needle or a tapestry needle that is big enough for your yarn to go through. I like to use the exact same yarn, that way it's on the same color and everything looks cohesive. So you have to sew it around, and I try my best to go stitch by stitch, and then I'm just using a very simple technique that is called the whip stitch. You just go over and over and passing through each stitch underneath. Another method is called the mattress stitch, and a lot of knitters prefer that way too. It's just a little bit more time consuming than this one, but the important thing is that you're sewing your edges together, so use your preferred method here. Use what I'm doing, use what you're used to. Anything that is gonna sew the edges together really works. Even if you know how to crochet, you can maybe do a row of single crochet or slip stitches if that's something you're used to, and just keep going. Then you're gonna turn and turn one more until you get to the end. Once you get to the end, I like to secure it and go a couple of times just to make sure nothing is going to be unmade or unravel, and then secure it one time. Now I am going backwards, and this is not to sew anymore, it's just to weave in my ends. I don't like to cut too close because I don't want to get into the risk of maybe it being unmade. So this is good enough, and now I feel more confident and I can slip and just cut my yarn. Then I also had some yarn left over from binding off, and I'm going to weave in the end as well because I don't want that to be noticed. And sometimes I like to use a crochet hook when the yarn is so little that the needle is not that useful anymore, and you don't need to even know how to crochet. As you can see, you just put the hook in between and then pull it. There, it looks more secure, so I can take this little piece. Now turn it inside out to hide the edge, and make sure to pull through and push all the edges. And it's pretty much done. Now you just need something to go through the eyelets. If you are done making, you can just get a pretty ribbon from any craft store, and you just pretty much have to thread it through the openings and go down and up and down and so on. If you know how to crochet, you can make some chain stitches. That's exactly what I did. But if you prefer to knit it, you can use the I-cord method and knit a little cord that can go through the eyelets here. Once you're done, you just have to fold it, and there you go, 2 cute little booties. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and remember that you can get the written pattern at craftytoots.com.